Hey, it's Brian Bud. This is my cheat sheet for Friday, September 14th. Alright, the Fed confirmed what I've been telling you for a while. More money printing, more QE, and what that means is things pretty much going to stay expensive. From gas to groceries, it's going to cost you more. Let me walk you back a little bit real quick. Quantitative easing, the bond buying program, it is what people would refer to as more money printing. Basically, we monetize our debt. We've been doing this, I believe, this third round since the second week of August. And the reason that I've been outlining it, you just have to, if you've been a loyal cheat sheeter, you already know all this. But we ended up seeing the price of oil, the price of gold, the price of many commodities start to take off from the second week of August through the end of August and then kind of stabilize into yesterday. When the Fed made the announcement official, we saw a barrel of oil, which had gone from 92 to 97 during that 2-week stretch in August, go from 97 to $99.50 a barrel real time right now. Gold, which had been around $1,500 an ounce the second week of August, had gone to just over $1,700. Now it's up to about $1,780 real time. Other commodities more expensive. And the long and the short of it is, any asset that is dollar denominated, in other words, it's traded around the world, like a barrel of oil, it doesn't matter what country you're in. If you buy a barrel of oil, it's done in US dollars, right? As the Fed puts more dollars out there, it waters down the value of the dollar in your pocket. That means that it necessarily, without any more demand, becomes more expensive to buy the same amount of stuff. Now, the flip side of this is what they're buying, what they're monetizing to create more money, our debt. It's in the mortgage market predominantly, which means that mortgage rates continue to be suppressed. And interest rates, the Fed announced, will continue to be near these record lows and through middle 2015, because the Fed says the economy stinks, and until the job market recovers, the Fed's just going to keep printing money and doing all this crazy stuff. Why do I say crazy? Well, because it's artificial. It's not real. They're inflating our money. And I actually think, because you take a look, if you could get a loan right now, wouldn't you have done it already? Right? So low interest rates, even if they're a little bit lower still, well, what is that going to do to encourage you or anybody else to borrow to buy a house or a car? If you are going to do it at these levels already, if you are going to. So I don't think it's going to help that really. And all it does is make life more expensive for all of us. Every time we go to the grocery store, every time we go to the gas station, all that stuff ends up costing more because of it. But the stock market, that's where the big win comes in, because where else can you put your money? Profits will inflate along with our currency. If you're in bonds getting a fixed rate of return there, you get crushed. You fall further behind inflation. Same deal with having your money in CDs or in standard bank accounts. The only place that you can get decent yield and you don't actually lose more of your money that you have saved tends to be the stock market, which is why, despite the crappy economy and the decelerating economy and the stuff going on around the world, the stock market just got back to the highest levels since December of 2007. What a weird world we live in these days. Okay, iPhone 5 pre-ordered today. You in? A lot of people are. 74% of existing iPhone owners say that they will make the switch over to iPhone 5. 74% of existing iPhone owners. We have 52% of BlackBerry owners that say they're going to make the switch over to the 5. And just over 30%, about 34% of Droid owners that say they're going to make the switch. All of this does point to a very, very big season coming up for the iPhone 5, which is no shock to anyone, I don't suppose. Okay, and take a look at the president's re-election odds this week. Put truth to all the hype out there. There was a bounce. There was a bounce for President Obama coming out of that convention. And it looked like it might be very substantial early in the week, anywhere from 3 to 5 points, which would have been enough if you had been able to hold that to really pull away. Well, turns out, 1 point this week. 1. I take a look at his average approval rating right now. It's at 49%. That's 1 point higher than the same time last week. So that whole huge bounce only amounted to 1 point. The media would have you thinking it's 20 right now, right? Okay, so here's the thing. That does. A 49% approval rating on this date historically for a president running for re-election certainly puts the odds in his favor. That brings his chances up from 62% this time last week to 69% today. So make no mistake, President Obama is still the favorite at this point using historical data. But the recent polls towards the end of the week have actually been showing that approval come down, come down, come down a little bit. It could be possible if that trend continues, once the earlier polling data, the polling data from earlier in the week washes out, that he might be right back to where he was by this time next week. We'll have to wait and see. Plus, we'll have to see how this whole situation in the Middle East played out. And also, one other piece of information there. If you take a look at George W. Bush in 2004, where he was at 50% approval on this day, 8 years ago, as it turns out. So that election that Bush won in 2004, Obama slightly trailing that performance at this point. It's a cheat sheet for today. Enjoy yours and your weekend for that matter. We'll see you Monday.